So
right.
we did this a year ago. I just washed my hands and I brought the tissue with me, my paper towel with me.
Here, throw it at the camera.
So we have been married now 26 years this year.
26.
And last year when we did this, I think I wore the same top and I put it on a couple of days ago and I went, wait, we should do another video with me with hair and a few ounces lighter, post chemo and all of that. And so we were going to give you some wisdom about being married for this many years. Not that we did it perfectly or anything like that. Last year, Craig said a lot of compliments, but we weren't getting much out of him. So let's see if we can get some more wisdom.
Okay, well, I think what 2020 has revealed that if you can make it through cancer, COVID, the contested election, it's true love forever.
Okay, that didn't have anything to do with anything, but I'm glad
Well,
it feels that way.
2020 is like a very ominous year.
Well, I guess being in the same house for a long time, like a lot of families, I mean, you know, people are shooting themselves and commit, you know, like divorcing and things like that. So we didn't shoot anybody and we didn't divorce, so I guess we did do pretty good.
As is evident by us being here today.
Yeah, we're still together.
Yeah, so
And,
26 years. And
here's the fireplace, as I showed you before, and back there is not boxes, it's an actual, slide over, let me see. It's an actual Christmas tree that doesn't happen to be on this time, that has Christmas presents in front of it. Now come back.
okay, all right.
So, what do we want to tell them?
Yeah, I would
about
just
what it
say
needs to be?
This year could have made it harder, but I feel like it drew us closer because whenever you're not distracted by leaving the house all the time or running from here to there, you have more time to focus on just being together. And I feel like our family is drawn closer during this time, especially our kids. And then we, I think, have as well. But this year would have revealed even more for families that are in crisis. And so we've prayed a lot for families that have been in crisis. And I would say we've all faced a crisis this year.
Oh, definitely. Well, what I would say to fine tune that is that people probably want to know what makes it possible. Like what self-denial or what self-assertions must one have in order to just say what you just did being true?
Yeah.
What kind of thoughts or self-control or behaviors?
Yeah. There was a temptation to retreat into other types of distractions. But what you have to do is press in to one another and into your family, and most importantly to the Lord. There's a lot of things that even if you're stuck in your house would try to tear you apart or push you apart. But and one would be called Netflix or Hulu or binging a show as a distraction from the world outside. And I feel like a lot of people have dove into that, and we certainly have watched our share of TV. But I think we've also, as a family, pressed in to the Lord during this year.
I think something else too that we did was we didn't play the tapes of the negative over and over in our head. Because when you are in the house day in and day out, habits start becoming more than just habits. They start becoming rubs. Like, I talk loud. Craig would tend to go, "Why are you talking so loud?" And Craig would be like brain dead. I'd be like, "Why don't you pay attention?" So if we do those things in repetition, like we say, "Why doesn't he ever pay attention? Why does she talk so?" And you like hammer in on that instead of mercies new each morning, like God says it is with him. You can really very quickly become very sour and very harsh with one another. So those are a couple of things that I think, even without quarantine and COVID and without a kid with special needs, because Lord knows she's got a lot of repetitious behaviors that we have to get mercies new every morning over. And so, we have to actually implement that in our own minds all the time. But for making it many years, when somebody was saying yesterday about it takes hard work and something else, and I forget what, in marriage, we didn't know what people were saying when they said it's hard work. We're like, what is hard work about being in love? the hard work is pushing into each other, like he was saying, where you choose instead of isolating, and you choose instead of obsessing on the negative, you choose to remind yourself of the things that you do love, that you do share, that you do want, and stay focused on those, especially around Christ. We pray together every night over our marriage. We actually say, Lord, protect our marriage from the enemy and to grow us closer to you and to each other, because in a real healthy marriage, it's a triangle, God being the center, and we're here coming together with him as, or he as, the center of it all. So I think that covers it. We probably have gone long enough.
Well, and I just wanted to share a big thing the Lord taught me this year is I asked him, because I really was driven at the beginning of COVID to make a difference and do what I could. And that's just the way I'm made up. But coming out of that intensive time, I did have some time focused towards prayer, and I asked the Lord, why did you allow me to be a publisher? Why did you allow me to do the things that I do, whether they're significant or what kind of difference they've made? And for the first time in my life, I was in a place where I could hear him say, because I love you and I wanted to provide for you. And never in my life would I have been in a place where I could have heard him say that. And I think when you feel loved, you can love more fully yourself.
Yes.
And so I feel like this year has really brought that into my life more than ever. And as an announcement, I'm actually going on vacation and sabbatical for the first time in my adult life.
Yes, all of our vacations have been to see family or add-ons to his business trips, minus maybe one or two.
So for the first time in my adult life, I'm actually taking more than a few days off, 6 weeks. My inbox is empty. My mind is clear for the most part.
Well, that happens often. Just kidding. No, actually, he's brilliant. He truly is. He truly is brilliant. And that is actually what happens, is his brain is full of other things.
And I wanted to say our prayers are with everyone who has truly suffered from COVID or any complications of that, because we know that not everyone breezes through this. Regardless of how you feel about the political nature of and has been turned towards politicizing a disease, there's real suffering and real complications and issues everywhere. And so we're praying for those people that we know about that are in that situation. And so our advice to you is pray with one another, for one another, and press into the Lord in 2021.
Yep. Turning you off now.